Now we're going to walk through how to build a basic page. So here I am on our fabulous new website. I am creating a website for Eugene Delacroix. He needs one. So what I've done is really created a very simple template. And in the previous videos, I have walked you through that. This video is just to show you how to create some basic pages. So here we have a really simple site. This area is the header. It has a picture of him because I introduced that as his logo. This was where your logo would go. And then on the main home page or on the main page, I've created two kind of galleries within this home page. One is for his paintings and one is for his process. And then the footer is very simple. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through how to create a page and how to move things around on that page, add text, and add images. This little icon up in the corner, again, is just your home dashboard with all your sites and with your site here. Eugene needs a website. So we're going to, you can click on this or here, you're just going to click into your website and then go to pages. So these are the pages that we have so far on our site. This one with the little squares, that's kind of a portfolio page. You can tell from how it looks there with the 4 squares. These are just basic pages, an about page and a contact page. Notice we don't have a home page yet. What I do at the end is create another separate home page that we can build out that looks really good with all sorts of different things on it, or you can have it very simple. But the home page I like to build last, because by then you have everything else already on your website. So I'm going to go to About. And this is text that's just from the template. See, here's text. And again, this header shows up on every page. Okay. And then again, on the contact page, this was just from the basic template that we got. This is a form to contact you and the other information on the bottom. So what I'm going to do first is over here is I'm going to create a page. So over on the left-hand side, we have the not linked section, and you can add a page there. Now these won't show up on your navigation, or you can create a page in the main navigation, and these are the pages that show up at the top of your page. You can rearrange them just by moving them around and see. Now about is first and contact, work, and then contact. So you can move them around here. You can also adjust this header, which I'll show you how to do later. But right now, let's hit plus on the not linked section. And I'm going to show you how to work from a blank page and also work from the page layouts. But here are the different things you can create. You can create a blog, a store, a portfolio, an events page, video pages, etc. Or you can create a scheduling page or a page layout. Now, any of these are kind of a different format, okay? However, you can put a blog on any page. You can put a store on any page. That's the nice thing about Squarespace. It's very interchangeable, and that'll make more sense later. First, I'm going to look at the page layouts. Okay, so we can add a page. We can either add a blank page, which has nothing on it, or we can add any of these different types of pages. And I'm just going to click through, I'm just going to click through some of them first. Okay, so see how it's underlined. Here's a general page with these formats, with a big picture, some text, some images, etc. Here are a selection of appointment pages if you want appointments, and that's how they look. The About page, you can have your image here, text, a bigger image, etc. A little card, but you can make any of these pages, and by the end, you're going to know how to make all of these types of pages. Here's a contact format with a map or just a picture. if you do services, or this could also be your paintings, your prints, your photography. It can be anything like that type of format. There's also member areas. This is what I have my classes in. It's any content that you decide to put behind a paywall. Here's a gallery to show your images in different formats, and you can set any of these up. You can have a team page or use this for any other purpose with images and text. There's a page for reviews, which is kind of nice. These are just suggestions really from Squarespace on how to format pages. Here's a menu if you're a restaurant. Here's an RSVP with a form in it. Here's an FAQ page formatted with a picture or without. And then the privacy policy and the terms of service, we will talk about that later. For now, let's just do a general page. And I'll show you if we start out with a lot of things on the page, and I'll show you how to move them around and replace them and add your own content. So I'm going to click on this one. Okay, so see how it's called General 2. And see how it goes into this header? That's because we made this header transparent. If we want it to be a certain color, we would change that in the formatting. But for now, I'm just going to keep it as this format. And I'm going to call this page, let's see, I'm going to call it work. Now we have a work page, and that's a portfolio, but I just want to show you maybe how you would set this up. So let's call this gallery. All right. Now I'm going to delete this general 1 page because I accidentally added it. And to delete a page, you go over here to the gear, and then you go to general and scroll down, and you can either duplicate or delete the page or set that page as your home page. That's how you end up with a home page. You take any page and you set it as your home page. So I'm deleting this for now. So now we have a gallery, and notice how it's not listed up in the top. If I decided that I wanted to move this gallery up to the top, and I like that gallery page better than this little portfolio page, I'm going to replace it and move this work down here. So you can keep these pages, they just don't show up at the top. A lot of people have very few pages in their main navigation, and then a lot more pages in the bottom part. They can send the links to people. They are live pages. You can send those links to people. You can use them in a lot of different ways. For now, I'm going to work on this gallery page. Okay, so here we have a lot of different content that is just in this format that we clicked on. Okay, so hit the edit button. All right, and then we have, you can notice we have sections. Here is a section with the big picture. See, it says add section. Here's a section down here with 3 images and text and buttons. And then here's a section down here, which is like a newsletter. See, newsletter. So every time you kind of hover over, you can see things that are labeled or happening on your page. So this is a newsletter form. This here is this is like a gallery or a list form. And when you edit it, you can see how it's formatted. And then here is text. This is just a text block. Okay, so we have sections and we have blocks. Every time you hover over a block, you'll see a plus sign. When you click on the plus sign, you can add a lot of different options. You can add text, a button, a video, a spacer, a newsletter sign-up form, a quote. You can embed code or whatever. You don't need to worry about that now. You can add a gallery or a single image. You can add audio, a map, or a summary block, which would show maybe your 3 top blog posts. You can add social links or a little drop-down accordion format. You can add all these other things, a product, scheduling, Instagram, all of these different options. Okay, so that's what happens when you click on this plus sign. You choose from your options here. Right now, I'm just going to click another text block. And I'm going to write in here, new work. Okay, so notice how that's really small, isn't it? We want to change it to make it bigger. So here, this formatting head bar comes up, and we can format it. There is my biggest heading right there. I'm going to make that large, and then I'm going to go over here and put it in the middle rather than on either side. And then also, I might make that bold. You can scoot them over or scoot them back. You can do a strike through. I'm not sure why you would, but you can do a list. Say if I wanted to do paintings, I would just actually type it next to it if I wanted it the same font, and then return, and that would be my list. So you can really move things around with this whole bar. If you wanted to make something a quote, just click on it and it adds a little bar. I'm going to first turn off the numbers, and then I'm going to add, see, that's a little bar that makes it into kind of a highlighted quote. So these are the different things that you can do. Also, you can make it into a link. So I would say, I want this work to go to a page or a web address to another page, to a file, or here we go to a page. We don't have that many pages on our website yet, but say we wanted that link to go to our portfolio page, and then we would put that there, and then we could open that in a new window if we wanted to. If you wanted that link to go to your email address, you would put your email address in here and add a subject or whatever. So you can have it go to different places. This would be just another page on the website or on another website. Any URL will work there. A file is maybe a PDF that you upload. A page, again, is from your website. So I'm going to save that. And then you hit apply, and it suddenly becomes a link. Okay, so I don't want it to look as a quote, and I'm going to take this other painting off. I'm going to put that in the middle, highlight it, put it in the middle, and I'm actually going to remove this link. Okay, so this is what we have so far. This text, I don't really want this text here, but say I wanted to say something about the work. I'm not sure how you want your website set up, but you can say something like, to describe your work maybe, and that would put that in the middle here. And then you could edit this button. See how if I put a plus sign here, I could add a button, right? It would create it right there. So I don't want that button. Maybe I'm going to use this button. So if I want to erase something, I just click on it and see I can either edit it or dump it into the garbage can. Okay, so now we have this button. Let's edit this button. And I want to make the button say something else, like maybe, browse the gallery. And then I want to make that button go to a page, which is my work. Okay, so, and I'm going to open that in a new window. Sometimes it's nice to open things in a new window so they don't lose the main page. Usually it's if you're sending someone off your site, but depending on what you want for your site, you can choose to open in a new window or not. And then again, I want to make this button in the middle. So I hit design over here. I want a large button. See, not a small button. I want a larger button, and I want to put it right in the middle. If I want to create this content to be a little bit bigger, this button, I would make it all caps. Okay, so now you see we have a section. And you can also adjust everything else around this section. So let's go and edit this section. Okay, so the section height is medium right now. What if I want it to be a lot smaller? See, that's a lot better. The content width I want to be medium is fine. And if you hit these three dots, then you can adjust it. You can really adjust it. The content width or height or location. Okay, so I'm just going to go medium, and then alignment, I want it to be right in the middle of the page. You can put it over to the left, over to the right, and it all depends on, say my section width was small and I wanted the words over here because I had some part of the background that I wanted to show over here. So it's really helpful to be able to move everything around a little bit. Okay, so that's good for now. But of course, we don't want this painting in the background. So what I'm going to do is then go to edit that section. Here we have a background. All right, so as you start to add pictures to your website, you will build up a library. And so here, what I want to do is replace this image or edit it or dump it. It doesn't really matter because I'm not going to save this ever, so I'll just dump it. And then you have your black background, which is part of your structure of your font, of your colors and your style. Okay, so if you go over here to colors, you can see these are all the colors that we had set up in this really basic palette. This will change as we put our style together, but see, it can be either in some of your colors or in white, depending on what your color palette is. I'm going to leave it in the darkest one right now. Any color, any image that you put in this section, if you add this image or video or web art, it will cover up this color. So I'm going to add an image and I'm going to say, what is my library? I have a library of images because I have gathered things so far. Okay, so let's take Eugene's fabulous painting of this tiger or lioness. And I'm going to show you how we can move this text a little bit that way so it kind of, see, you can see how light it is here and it's hard to read. So let's work on that slightly. So what I want to do is scroll down over here and see this overlay opacity. I can move this slider to make it slightly darker. So then we can read this white text a little better. You can also work on, different effects. We could make this, we don't want to do anything to Eugene's work, but this is what you can do. There's all sorts of little things that you can, effects that you can put on your images. I'm going to put it back to none. The painting speaks for itself. Here is what it would look like if we hit inset. It would inset it on the edges. But I like the full bleed idea here for this painting. Okay, so on colors, see how we have clicked on the darkest. If we click on a lighter, see how the gray is behind this image, so it kind of lightens up the work. So keep that in mind, that the font color, the background will affect your images. And so if you're wondering why your images are looking different, that's why. Okay. We don't really have any images in our style or colors in our style guide yet. So this is pretty simple, but this is a good way to show you because it's so dark and so light. So you can goof around with that until you kind of get a look that you like as far as the colors go. All right, so that is just our basic header for a new page. Now, that's the top section. See this little arrow here? We can move sections around. So say I wanted to move that section down, here it is. It's in the middle of the page now. I could move it to the bottom, okay? But this is kind of a header for this page, so I want to move it to the top. Okay, here is another type of content, and here is our form at the bottom. So I'm just going to go through one more of these to show you how these work, and then that will be your basic lesson on how to move things around and to build a page. And as we go through the rest of the course, we'll talk about how to build different types of pages. Okay, so say I didn't really like how this section looked with the 3. First of all, I could rearrange it within the editor, but say I wanted to add a totally different section here. So there's different things you can do. I could either add a section or I could edit this. I'm going to try to add a section. Okay, so I want to add a section here. Ooh, and I like this one with these different shaped images, but I don't want all 3 of them. So how can I fix that? Well, I'm just going to add that section here. Okay, and then I can edit it however I want. It looks like it just had 1 image anyway. But if I wanted more than 1, I would just add another one here. Add image. Select from my library, or upload a new image if you haven't really added anything yet. Oh boy, that's kind of big. The reason it is because of the design. Okay, so I want to go to design, and this is where you can choose all the different types of formats. Inline, I can hit poster, and that'll just put some words on top of it. I can hit card, and that will make it look like smaller with text on the side. I can have an overlap with this. Let's say we want to do it this way, because I want to show you how versatile these styles are. I'm going to go back to that. There's also collage with a bigger card, and then stack, where it would just be stacked images if you had more than 1. Let's go to overlap. Okay, so I want to change this to say Delacroix Diaries. Okay. And then I'm going to make that huge. Okay, so you see how already it gives it a lot better look. And then, you know, say if you were going to write about this. He kept amazing diaries. Okay, and that can be a short piece there, or it can be a little bit longer. You could also add a button. Okay, so if we say we want, here's this image, we want it to link to another page, here's the link on the image or on a button. See, and it will add a button. And then we put the button here, and then we make it click through to another page, say a blog page. We don't have a blog yet, but that's what it would do. We would choose from here for our blog or put in a link. Okay, so we have this basic page here, but it's still kind of big. So what if I wanted to move these 2 next to each other instead of on top of each other? See this little glove that I have, like the white glove on the page? When you hover over the top part, you get this glove. So I'm going, and then what you do is click and drag it. So I'm holding that down, the glove is holding on to the image, and then see this blue line? That shows where I'm moving the image. Now see, it goes all the way down the page. It's going to be right next to that image. If I wanted it just next to this one image, it would be like that. If I wanted it next to the whole page, going all the way down the page, it would be like this. So In this case, it doesn't matter because we only have one thing that we're dealing with. Okay, we have two images. But if we had three things, let's add another one. I'm just going to click through this quickly. I'm going to turn the caption off. I'm going to design this one in a shape. We like these shapes, are kind of fun. I click shape and then I go to shape and I can choose all sorts of different things. They're kind of crazy. I do like the one that looks like a book is kind of cool, especially if I'm talking about his diaries. And then our format is inline, but what if it was a card again? And then you just I'm just typing anything here just to show you what it would look like. Oh, well, I need a little more space for that title because it's so big. Okay, so we could move this around. So see, when I go next to this image, there's a slider. So I'm going to slide this around. Okay, so what I would like to do is put this one on the top and these next to each other underneath it. So again, I'm going to go grab that, move it up. I can move it to a different section if I want, or just to that section. So that's on top, and then these two are on the bottom. But I want to move it around so these are kind of even. And I think I'll have to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so you can see how you can really adjust anything. If I wanted to take this image and just move it up next to this one, see, I would have two images here and then this bigger one below. Oh, that's still too big, but I only have three images. Well, I think I want to make a spacer. So here I would choose from the plus sign a spacer, and that's here, right there. And I would move this spacer right next to this image and see how then that would make it smaller. I could also put another spacer on the other side. Sometimes you have to click outside and then come back to get the little plus sign. I'm going to add another spacer and move this spacer over here. So now I can slide these spacers around to make this image kind of in the middle. Okay, so then you can do whatever you want with that. Okay, so I decided I like that image, that style instead of this one. This is a kind of a gallery space, but say I wanted to edit this. I'm going to first see what elements I want. There's the title, the text, the description or body text, and the button. If I don't want to show the button, I can just click that off. The section also has a button. I'm going to turn that on for the whole section. And then you could put that in the middle eventually, but I'm going to turn that button off. I'm going to turn that button back on. All three. I don't have to show the title though. Maybe I just want the title there, not the body. And then I'm going to go into the content. Okay, so each one of these are a separate item in your list. Let's switch them to our art. I'm going to replace it. And then you can choose art from your main images. Let's see. I'm just going to add one of my images here. Okay. Now it's the wrong format, isn't it? I'm going to edit this down here. The title of this would be maybe Works on Paper. And then you would tell it where to go, at another page. You'd add that link to where it would go to from the button. Okay, so I put that image in, but that image is in the wrong format really. So let's go over to design and see if I can switch that. Okay, so see how it says 3 columns. The image crop is 4:3, but I want to switch that to a long, tall image, okay? Or I can switch it to a square image, 1-on-1. That doesn't really work. I really need that kind of tall image. So that's why you can switch them and make them all the same, basically. So you want to make sure that they all kind of fit in that image format. And then you can go for style. This text size is a little small, so I'm going to make that bigger. And also you can put it on a card. See this card, that color comes from our style guide that we've set up. Okay, I can change the padding, I can change the top, the bottom, all sorts of things I can change. The text size, I can put it in the middle. I like that. We can have a simple list, a banner, a carousel. So there's a lot of different ways that we can adjust this gallery. Okay, so see, this is the title. We have that showing. I want to take that off, or, oops, I want to take that off, edit the content. See the title here? I could either take it off, or I could add, let's see, go to the design and see if I can find a place to change that. Sometimes you forget where things are, but that's okay. Just keep goofing around with things and changing them. There we go. Under content, there's the title. Make it stand out. I want to say New Works, and I want to put that in the middle. And then I want to make that text bigger. You can change things around in the order, etc. I know there's a way to make the size. Let's see, content width, media width, position of everything. You can move things around, space above item. So there's a lot to look at in this gallery section. Okay, that's what this is. I don't want to show my title here. Okay, so there we have it. So you have different sections. You can move things around in their sections and add anything. In this section, it's a gallery section, so it doesn't let you add other content, you know, with the plus sign. There's no plus sign in this type of section, gallery section. In here, we have the plus signs. We can add more images. We can add more text. A text block, just like I want to make that big as maybe a header. And oh, I need to move that down because I want it really across the whole page. My mouse just died. I need to plug it in. So that is how to create a page, and we will go into how to create specific pages later on.